Hey, how's it going? It's Sophia here from Zen Guidance. I hope all is well with you today. So, in today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to be looking at what your intuition is trying to tell you right now. So, whatever's going on unconsciously for you, we're going to bring through into your conscious mind and see what it is you're being guided to do right now. So, all I need you to do is choose one of these three piles. Feel free to pause the video here if you need a little more time. And once you've made your choice, you can go to the description box below, where you'll find the corresponding timestamps to your chosen pile. You'll also find the link to my website, so if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, that's where you'll find the information. Okay, so let's get into your reading. Click the timestamp and I'll see you there. Okay, group number 1. Let's take a look at what your intuition is trying to tell you right now. Okay. What is your intuition trying to tell you? What are you being guided to do? Oh, okay, we have judgment. Soul searching. Hold on. Soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. World. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Okay. What is your intuition trying to tell you here? Sorry, there's something underneath the cards I can feel is some kind of dirt. Okay. I feel like you're being guided to assess a situation before making leaps. I just need a sip of my coffee. Because the judgment is all about realizations. Okay, and interesting as it's come through in this intuition reading, and that your intuition is telling you that you are needing to have more awareness about a situation. But in order to get there, it feels like, you are needing to search for answers right now. So this isn't a time to be passive. This isn't a time to just forget about everything, to just let things unfold. There are certain times in our life, I feel like, where we're meant to just more go with the flow, and other times where we're meant to initiate some kind of action or change. And this is very much about changing your perspective, because I also feel like with the owl card here, think about owls flying up high, obviously like all birds flying. I'm just sensing the bird-like energy of being up in the air and seeing things from this higher viewpoint. So it feels like you're needing to almost step back from a situation to assess it fully. So if there's something that's been confusing to you, or you feel like you're needing to make some kind of big life change, it feels like you're needing to look at all of the different angles here. Like you may have only been looking at it through one lens. So this may be connecting with other people, asking other people's opinions. And the thing is with asking other people's opinions, it's not to say because you can't form your own opinions, but sometimes hearing other people's opinions can help to shift your own perspective. And that's why it's always important to be open to listening to other people, because it could also have the opposite effect where it reinstills that faith in your decision. If somebody says the opposite, you may feel like you dig your heels in more and go, no, this is definitely what I want, even if they say something that goes against what it is that you want. So either way, I do feel like it will help almost, even like having people as a sounding board. You know, sometimes we can be sounding boards for others, and we can have other people be sounding boards for us. Okay, obviously we need to have those two-way conversations as well, but sometimes we just need to hear ourselves say something. So I feel like there's something about needing to speak up, saying something out loud. Maybe you're somebody that is quite naturally talkative. I'm getting Virgo energy here, Gemini. I'm seeing the sign of Mercury coming through here. So and we've got the book here as well. So maybe you're going to find the answers within a book. Okay, maybe there's a book that you've put down. Okay, I'm sure we've all got books that we've half read or we haven't finished. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's a book close by, or there's one that maybe you keep thinking, should I start reading that again? And I feel like you should. Okay, it's definitely a book that is, like I said, at a halfway point. Now, if you're not somebody that reads like traditional books, if you are someone that more like you might use online resources, maybe there's something unfinished there, or an unfinished course, or some kind of study. Maybe you've been dabbling or wondering, should I study this or should I go back into this? Okay, something about needing to reassess your next step in terms of your progress moving forwards. And there's a lot to do with knowledge, okay, because owls as well, very wise birds. So I feel like, yeah, something about you developing or deepening your knowledge in a certain area. Okay, so I feel like whatever the first thing that popped into your mind when I said it, that's the thing. Okay, like if there's another form of divination, if you're somebody that's very spiritual, maybe you use cards, but maybe you've been feeling guided to do palm reading or Reiki or some other spiritual practice or divination. I know Reiki isn't divination, obviously it's healing, but something within the spiritual realm. But this could be very well something else that's going to improve your career prospects, or something you happen to just find very interesting. Or maybe this is about self-evolvement, okay, even self-help books, guides, that kind of thing, something that's going to help you to level up. And it does feel like there needs to be more learning on your part, more absorbing of information. Now again, this could be, if you're somebody that connects more with technology or videos, you might have more of an audible way of learning. So maybe audiobooks or podcasts or YouTube itself may be something that you enjoy. I mean, you probably do, seeing as you're here on YouTube now watching this video. So you naturally may be somebody that likes to or absorbs information through audible sound or through video as well. Maybe you like the connection of the visual as well as the audible. So it's like whichever one you feel the most drawn to. Again, if you're an avid book reader, that's where you feel drawn to. That will be the easiest way for you to learn. Because we're human beings who like to enjoy things, and we're naturally going to enjoy learning more if we're doing it in a way that is more cohesive to the way we learn. Okay, so I feel like if you've been trying, for instance, again, if you're not really a book reader and you're that other way inclined, for instance, then, and you've been trying really hard, it might be to forget about the book and maybe to try and find an online resource or an online video. Because even here on YouTube, there's so many, what do you call them? Or like study videos that's not what I'm talking about. Books that are read, audiobooks that are read through YouTube. I've listened to quite a few of them. So anyway, I've really digressed into that. I just feel like it's such a strong message from your subconscious group one, that it's, learning, developing, finding new information. And again, sometimes this is, well, like you learn the information, then you need to have a break. You step back and you see what you've learned, you see what you've absorbed, and then you can apply it to the real world, to your real world experience, to how you move through life. But now here as well, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. So if you feel like you've been closing a lot of doors lately, or you've not been open to change, then I feel like that's what your subconscious is wanting you to do, is to be a bit more fluid, a bit more open and allowing of things, okay? Allowing yourself to make those changes, okay? Not pigeonholing yourself into just one area or into just one specific mode of, like I said, learning, or the specific area. Like it feels like you're needing to absorb a lot of information about a lot of different subjects. Okay, that was a few cards that jumped out there. So let's just see. What else is coming through from your subconscious group one that you're needing to know? Okay, so we've got the Descendant, Invitation, and then Libra, Balance. Okay. So we've got more air energy here with Libra. Oh my God, we've actually got double Libra. That's crazy. Because the Descendant rules the 7th house, and traditionally Libra rules the 7th house in the astrological wheel. Obviously, it depends on your own personal natal chart. It depends what your rising sign is. But if, for instance, your rising sign is Aries, the traditional ruler of the first house, then your seventh house will be the sign of Libra. So you could be an Aries rising, you could be a Libra rising, and then have an Aries descendant potentially. Anyway, but it just feels like, yeah, there's all this Libra energy, which is about balance and partnerships. It's ruled by the planet Venus, which is all about the things that we take great pleasure in, like love, relationships, money, possessions, okay, or having fun, the things that we enjoy to do. So, I'm wondering whether this is actually like a preparation for you in terms of relationships. Now, this might be about the relationship you are already in. If you know that you're in a relationship, a solid relationship right now, then it may be that there's a lot of development that you're needing to undertake in terms of either progressing the relationship or creating more of a harmonious balance within the relationship. Now, if you're single right now or in a situationship, this could be again about developing your relationship skills and acquiring the knowledge you need almost within yourself, because I feel like this is about your perspective as well, about how you see other people or how you see prospective partners. Because if you think the first house is about our impression, the first impression we make, and the seventh house represents the impression we have of others as well, and how we view other people. So I feel like definitely something about you learning more is going to change your view on other people and will actually help you to create more balance in your partnerships. Okay, this doesn't have to be romantic partnerships either. This can be about your friendships, your family relationships, your work partnerships. Yeah, so I feel like there's definitely this need for, again, more balance, more fairness. And again, I feel like the key really here is knowledge. As they say, knowledge is power. And I feel like it's going to be your greatest gift moving forwards. So whatever you feel really drawn to learn, to absorb, to take in right now, do it. Don't hold back. Okay, even if that means you dip in and out of different subjects, it doesn't matter. Just begin, or even just going back. You don't have to pressurize yourself to finish everything, but sometimes it's just the getting started that gets the ball rolling, that helps us to shift our perspective. Because personally, sometimes, whether it's a book, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's a video, I don't always feel the need to read or watch the entire thing. Sometimes there are just elements that stand out for me, and it's usually the way where I, after finishing a book or a video, and it's one sentence sometimes that just stands out, and sometimes it's that one sentence that is the game changer. And so follow your intuition. You don't necessarily have to finish everything or put the pressure on yourself to finish. But like I said, just get started, because you don't know where it will lead. Because again, here on YouTube, you know what it's like. You start on one video, you see what's recommended. So sometimes you may need to click on one video because you're actually meant to watch the next video coming. So go with the flow in that respect, definitely. So let's just get some more information, what your subconscious is wanting you to know. Okay, so we have breathe, fork in the road, and then blessed. Ooh, we like blessed. In any reading, it's always lovely to see the blessed card, but certainly in this reading for you today. Okay, I feel like you do already have a lot to be grateful for, but I do feel moving forwards, you'll have even more to be grateful for. But obviously where we put our focus is what we then attract. What we focus on expands. And so if you focus on what you're grateful for, what you already have that's amazing in your life, that will start to be reflected back to you. So more opportunities for feeling blessed will come. This is what sometimes we can fail to see. I have to remind myself of this all the time, to say, okay, remember, be grateful. What are all the wonderful things I have? You know, because sometimes we can slip and we can have those moments where we don't feel that gratitude. But it's so important if we're wanting to feel this way. Okay, we know how the law of attraction works. We don't need to go into that, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, let's move on to the breathe card. Okay, because I feel like this makes sense with what came through here about learning, about evolving with your knowledge, with your wisdom, with your perspective on people. Like I said, I really feel like this is about people and your relationships. Like this is where all of this knowledge is going to come in handy. And I feel like, yeah, you're being guided to breathe when you need to. You don't have to, like I said, finish everything. You don't have to put all that pressure and overwhelm yourself. Okay, just take your time with it. If you feel like you need to slow down, if you feel like you need to take a break, do that. If you feel like you need to deviate, if you feel like you need to look into a different topic for a bit. Okay, everybody's different. Everybody enjoys to learn in different ways. So again, some people like to learn, say, 2 different things at a time or 3 different things, but they'll go from one thing to the next. I'm quite that way. Whereas some people will like to just focus purely on one thing and just get to all the way to the finish line until moving on to the next. Okay, whichever way feels more natural to you. But even if you're that person that likes to go all the way to the end, you still need breaks. You still need breaks, again, to digest the information, like we do when we sleep. That's why sleep is obviously so important for us to function as human beings. We need to sleep so we can process all of that information, the energy that we've taken on from the day. And so our body can repair and restore itself. And so in the same vein, when it comes to learning and it comes to your perception, sometimes there needs to be space or distance. So you can, again, apply what you've learned into practice. Okay, or real life situations will occur in which you'll see things differently. That's when you really know you've evolved or changed, because it will just hit you one day. Like something will occur and you'll be like, wow, I'm seeing that totally differently than how I would have 6 months ago or a year ago, or I'd be reacted to that very differently than I would have previously. So it's upon reflection that you will understand why all this has happened, okay, with the fork in the road as well, which is about issues, okay, some kind of issue, something that keeps you stuck from moving forwards. Now, in part, this could be again down to, at times, your mentality and the narrative you have about yourself and you have about your life, and trying to condition it to be as positive and as grateful as possible, even though that can be challenging at times. It's like, choose what is going to be hard, okay, because it's going to be hard either way, whether you try hard to be grateful, but you'll see the results, or whether you just decide to be negative, which is just easier if that's your natural way, or with what's going on with you right now. It might be easier to just be like, oh, everything's shit, for instance, but then the results, if you think everything's shit, you'll just have more shit reflected back to you, which in turn will then be hard. So it's like, choose which hard you feel is going to be right for you. So let's get some fishbowl messages to clarify this. Any specific messages you need to know from your subconscious to your conscious mind, group 1. Okay, we've got no contact. No contact. Okay, so that could be you are being guided to as well, go no contact with a particular person. And if this is connected to a relationship, you may gain information and wisdom about a person, which then leads you to go no contact. Or if somebody has already gone no contact with you, maybe this is you are being guided to also step back from the situation, to see things differently. We've got connect the dots and style. Karmic, you let me down. Second chance. Fantasy and health and beauty. Okay. You let me down. I don't know whether this is you saying this, whether this is somebody else saying this, or feeling this way. I mean, maybe this is you feeling let down. I feel like it's you. I feel like it's you feeling you've been let down by a situation or by a person. I feel like it's by a person. Like maybe there's like disappointment for how something turned out or how it's currently going, okay? Or just that, yeah, you don't feel like something can progress in the way that you would want. But again, it feels like there needs to be more information, because perhaps there was a connection that was built upon fantasy and it wasn't really reality. But fantasy, can be a good thing. It can be a place to escape to, as long as it's not too detrimental or you're not living constantly in a state of fantasy. But fantasy can also help us to manifest if we are able to visualize what it is that we desire. Okay, so fantasy has its good and bad points, like everything. So it's like using it in moderation. So if you feel like you've been going overboard with it, then yeah, try to rein it in and ground yourself, coming into reality. Because again, there's a lot of air here in this reading, which is about being up in your head a lot, being up in the clouds. So there needs to be a bit of earth, a little bit of stability, grounding, coming back down to earth. You know, there are ways that you can ground yourself through your root chakra by walking barefoot in nature or just standing barefoot on the grass. You know, that alone will just help to ground you. But there's many different ways, obviously, you can look them up. But I was reading out that, but I meant to say this. I was going to say, you let me down. I was like, I already went to that one. Second chance as I picked this up. So this may be that there is a second chance for you with another person. Because I felt connected to this card here, the Libra card. So there may be a second chance with a person, with a relationship. Okay, so that could be something that's coming. But again, there needs to be these other areas that are learned about first. Because that's the thing. For instance, if you're meant to be with somebody or to connect again with them, it may be that everything's unfolding, that you're needing to learn certain things before you come together. Okay, it's because if you trust in divine timing, you'll know that there are reasons. Okay, and whether that circumstances need to align for the two of you to come together, or you both need to have a similar level of perspective or understanding. Okay, so it may be elements of karmic activity, things that happen outside of your control that interfere in your reality, that will then shift things in your life that bring you together with certain people or help to shift your awareness. Okay, the second chance could also be about, again, like I said, something you're learning, something you used to learn, or something you wanted to learn or wanted to begin. We've got health and beauty, style. Yeah, something about the exterior coming through here as well. So yeah, I feel like your subconscious wants you to have a bit of a glow up, okay? And not in a superficial way, just to, I don't know, attract attention or whatever, but for yourself, about your own self-esteem. I feel like, yeah, this is about connecting more to how you look on the outside, as well as connecting to how you feel on the inside. Because health is about how we feel on the inside, and beauty is how we feel, obviously, on the outside. And obviously, both can end up being reflected to one another. So it's like I feel like you're being guided to, work from the inside out, to work on that knowledge, gaining wisdom, maybe focusing on a new health routine if you feel like your health's kind of been waning, or you feel like you've got, maybe you need to start working out more, or change the way that you're working out if you're in pain, or to start using more supplements, or change your diet in some way. So if you've been thinking about doing that, maybe that's again something you want to learn about. Could be. But yeah, it just feels like maybe even changing the way that you dress, okay? Or your style. This could be even a style of communication. The style in which you engage in relationships, okay? Because for instance, you could be somebody that, say, has an anxious attachment style with relationships usually, but then you go through a lot of healing or therapy or self-work, and you're able to get to a place where you're in secure attachment. So you can change that style. There's many different ways in which you can change styles, of course, but I just feel like there's this upgraded energy that I'm seeing here. And I just feel like here, connect to the dots. All of the dots need to be connected. And I do feel people for you really do help to connect the dots. Like I said, even if people aren't in agreement with you, sometimes you just need to, like I said, get it off your chest, soundboard, or write it down even if you don't want to share it specifically with somebody, but just the act of writing it down may be very cathartic for you, or will reveal certain truths to you that you're needing to understand. Okay, but I definitely see improvement in your relationships if you're able to take these actions here. Okay, that's the biggest change I feel like your subconscious is pushing you towards. And this is the beautiful thing as well, because things in life are naturally unfolding for you. because this is your subconscious pushing you. This is just helping to give you a bit of insight into the direction it's pushing you in. So, I mean, I really hope that it has helped. I hope it resonates. Please comment if it does. I would love to have your feedback. I'd very much appreciate it. And if you did enjoy it as well, you enjoyed this reading, you got something from it, please do give the video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because all of your help really does help. Of course it doesn't, that was redundant, but to support my channel. So thank you in advance. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, the link is also below for you. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now. Okay, group number 2. Let's take a look at what your unconscious is wanting your conscious mind to know. Like, what is your intuition trying to tell you? Okay, I did go on for quite a long time in group 1's reading. I'm trying not to make them that long today, but you guys know I just can't help but ramble. Okay, so let's see. What is your intuition trying to tell you right now, group 2? What is your intuition trying to tell you right now, group 2? Okay, so we have the card of attachment here. Door to personal healing and happiness. Goddess of the moon. And the garden and the gates. Okay. So immediately what I'm picking up on here is that your subconscious is wanting you to let go. Okay, because there's something that you're holding on to with a very tight grip. Okay, and it feels like you're failing to see that there is another door here. Okay, we've got the door to personal healing and happiness, but it's like you're looking in the other direction here. Okay, I feel like you're focused on either something or someone else that is dragging your energy down. Okay, it feels very heavy. I'm getting devil card energy in my mind. I can feel it, I can see it. It's like a burden. You feel chained to the situation, to the person, and you can't seem to let go. But your subconscious is, I feel like, screaming at you to try, because this is the thing. It's not easy, because whatever the situation is, you're not tied to it for no reason. There is obviously a reason why you are, but it feels like at times you may just give up from trying. Like, there's no way, I can't let go, it's just not going to happen, so I'm not even going to try. But it feels like you are being guided to just at least try to let go a little bit if you can. Anything that you can do, whether it's just occupying your mind for a moment, saying affirmations of what you desire or what you feel you need rather than what you are wanting right now. Because there's this beautiful opportunity right here for you, for so much more happiness, for this healing. But at the moment you're not seeing it, okay? Because the goddess of the moon in reverse is about blocked intuition. Okay, so yeah, I do feel there's a very strong block here, more so than, well, the first pile. Okay, now it's not a bad thing. It's just we can get tied up here. For instance, when we're in attachment and overthinking, our mind is clogged up. Okay, like think about our head. Our brain is just clogged up with, obsessive thoughts or addictive tendencies, behaviors, thoughts that go round and round in circles, which can be very debilitating. But then think about the block. It then blocks your third eye, the space in between your eyebrows, which is where your intuition lies. That's the place in which you receive and see those intuitive messages. So when the mind is too blocked up, it can't see the intuitive messages, okay? It can't get through. It's like a traffic jam. Like nothing can get through a traffic jam until the lights change or until the obstruction is released, so everything can start moving through more freely. So whatever you feel has you tied up right now, your unconscious wants you to let go, okay? But I know that this may feel challenging because you're like, okay, yeah, if it was that easy, I would just let go. But it is what it is. This is what your subconscious feels you need to do for your highest good, for your highest benefit. Because the thing is, with being in attachment, you can end up telling yourself certain things in order to keep you there. You can become, or you can end up in this place of self-sabotage where whenever you try to move forwards, your brain will somehow pull you back towards the situation. Or sometimes it can be a person, if a person is being manipulative or is doing things that keep you hooked in there. Okay, but again, you can't control what people do, but you control your reactions to them. But like I said, it's easier said than done. I do know and I do appreciate that. But you guys know, I'm going to be honest, this is what your subconscious wants you to do. Now, we also have the garden and the gate here, which is very much about thinking the grass is greener on the other side. See, even in this picture, she's got all of these beautiful flowers. She stood in this garden. She's even holding like a bunch of flowers in that basket. You know, she's dressed nicely. She's got her hair done. She's in pink. She's got a little bird, a house. She's got everything she needs, okay? But she's looking outside. She's not happy with what she has. She's ignoring all of these wonderful things in her garden and she's looking elsewhere. So this may be that, yeah, you're looking outside of what you already have and thinking it's better than what it really is. Okay, or this is about comparison. You could be comparing other people, thinking that they have more than you. It's the energy of not being grateful for things. Now, this isn't to put any blame on you in any way, shape, or form, but it is what it is. Sometimes we can get stuck there. We can get stuck in this negative loop where we struggle to see the good things we have. We take the things we have for granted and we think, because as humans, we like stability. We like things that stay the same, but we also like novelty. We like new. Okay, so if things have got boring or dull, like the things that you have now that you may have once before dreamed of having, but now you're like, meh, what else is there? What else is new? But it feels like you're being guided to direct that focus back inwards into your home, to your relationships, to your career, or to whatever those things that really light you up and that you're grateful for. To really direct that focus back towards those positive things, which will help you to release the chains of this attachments that you have. Okay, yeah, let's get some more information here. What is your subconscious trying to tell you, group 2? Okay, we have the South Node, past, square, semi-square, quincunx, tension. Okay. I think it's a difficult situation you're in right now, group 2, because it feels like you do have a lot to be grateful for, you do, but there feels like there's something missing, and you can't help that. You can't help feeling like there's something missing that you're wanting, that you're desiring. But this tension aspect, I mean, the tension in astrology, or not the tension, the square, the semi-square, the quincunx, these are all challenging aspects, okay, that create tension, friction, and frustration. It's like planets that just aren't getting on together, okay? They're not seeing eye to eye. So these could be conflicting parts of yourself. Like there's a part of you that wants one thing, I said, and a part of you that wants another. And these two ideas are not aligning together, okay? It's a challenge. It is a challenge. And so I feel for you. But still, you can still direct your focus towards what's going right, even if there are things in your life that you are seeking that aren't aligning in the way that you would desire. But we've got the South Node here, which is about the past, okay, which is about connecting to, I don't know, maybe this is still holding on to the past, holding on to a past relationship, holding on to something that's past its sell-by date, holding on to past ideas about yourself, holding on to negative patterns from your past, negative addictions. Yeah, I mean, you may have, for instance, like the South Node natally conjunct your sun or conjunct your moon. So you may identify a lot with your past. You may struggle very much to move past the past, or you may even feel like other people judge you by your past a lot. Okay, you may feel like other people aren't able to let go of your past, and this may even then unconsciously keep you hooked in. Okay, so if you're able to communicate that to at least the people that you care about, say, don't bring up my past, I don't want to talk about it, I'm not interested in delving into that, do that. And if they love you and care about you, they'll respect that. Obviously, you can't control the people that you don't know or have those kind of relationships with. But anyway, those people don't matter. Those people aren't in your life, don't care about you. So why should you care long term about their opinions, okay, about your past, if that's the case? If you feel like your past is like haunting you or following you, okay? But like I said, this doesn't have to be about other people's perceptions. This could be about your own internal perceptions of yourself, and you feel like you're still carrying a lot of this past baggage with you. So yeah, I feel like this is also what you're being guided to release, to let go of what is no longer serving you. Whatever habits or patterns that you've created, they started from somewhere. So if they started from somewhere, you can end them and you can create new patterns. Every pattern is formed. So it just takes repetition. So you can change the pattern. You just have to do it enough times, like exercising it like a muscle so it becomes stronger. The first time will be the hardest time, but then it will just get easier and easier and easier. So, until it becomes just your normal pattern. Right, so just drop some cards. Let's start again, shall we? My group 2. And then we'll get some fishbowl messages after this. What is your unconscious wanting you to know? What is your intuition trying to tell you or guide you towards? Okay, so we have the Not For You card. And then the Imagine card. Okay. The first thing that came through to me there is that you may feel like personal happiness and healing isn't for you, which is really sad. Like, I hate that. And I hope that that's not what you're feeling. But I feel like somebody here is feeling that. Like, you just feel quite like hopeless and lost, and like other people are meant to live those kind of happy lives. Like, this isn't my path, or I'm not meant to live that kind of life. Things always feel like a struggle for me. You know, there are these self-fulfilling prophecies that are coming through. But the thing is, it's so incredibly hard to decondition yourself or to make changes, especially if, for instance, you had a troubling childhood or you struggled in some way, you know, at the beginning of your life, and you've got to really claw your way out of that. It can be so incredibly challenging to feel like you're successful, or that you've made it, or that, you know, you've got what it is that you think everybody else has that you don't have. But again, it's all about perspective. Because, for instance, you could be envious of someone's life and they might be watching this exact same reading, okay? They could be watching the same reading and they could be envying somebody else's life. Like, you just don't know what it is that people want, what it is that people desire, what it is that people need. Of course, we all have our generic wants and needs out of life, but everyone's goals, you know, are different at different times and different phases, and you don't need to live on any other timeline but your own, okay? But I just want you to release that narrative. I want you to release the narrative that you are not good enough, or that you're not worthy enough to have a positive, happy life with rainbows and sunshine, because you are. You deserve it. We all deserve it. Okay? But you do deserve that kind of life. And I feel like, yeah, it's time to change that narrative. Because again, this is your subconscious. This isn't even about, or, you know, your intuition. This hasn't come through to your conscious mind yet. Okay? Or maybe you sort of bat it away at times. But this energy of not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough is insidious, okay? And it will filter into all other areas of your life. So the only way to reprogram this is to start saying more positive affirmations, to replace the negative narratives of your past, to reframe it now moving forwards. And it's possible, and it's scientifically proven to be possible by doing this. You know, just look up Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is absolutely fantastic. You know, and he proves, you know, the scientific evidence that is based around manifesting, or about creating the reality of what you desire through imagination. through feeling positive emotions, because that's what he says. You have to not just visualize, but you have to really try and feel the positive emotions. And if you can use that as well as have a vision, there's no stopping you in what you can achieve moving forwards, okay? And I do feel for you, group 2, that you have a very, very imaginative and creative mind, okay? You have the ability to visualize very well. You might be an artist, okay? Somebody that's very talented in terms of your creativity, because, I'm seeing all of these vast colors. I feel like you could dream very intensely or very vividly at night, but also in the day. Like, you're somebody that could really picture things like, well, I used to do this when I was, well, I guess I would still do it now, but at points, but when I was super young, and I'd imagine what it'd be like to win the lottery. I guess we've all done that at different points, but, you're really able to envision, say, the things you would buy, whatever. But I just feel like as a whole, this is something that you're very naturally gifted at, okay? This may even be something you tell yourself that you're not and that you're no good, but it's absolutely not true. You are incredibly talented. And I do feel you're very naturally psychic and intuitive as well, group 2. You are. You may not consciously realize it yet because of this goddess of the moon reversed, and of course based on the title of this reading. But I feel like you need to tune into that more, to allow yourself to be more in the flow state so you can follow your intuition, because your intuition will hit you before it makes logical sense. You just have to follow it. But yeah, it feels like whatever is bringing you down, you need to let go of. Whatever you can try to do to release the attachments, to release comparison to other people. This is going to lead to your overall happiness, okay? So let's get some more information about what your intuition is guiding you to do. Friends. Don't wait. I'll read them in a second. Let's see. Okay, we've got December, long-lasting, transformation, grief and loss, integrity, vet, animal care. Okay. I mean, you may have recently gone through a loss. You may have lost a person, a friend, an animal, a pet. Okay, for some of you that may be the case. But in terms of what your intuition is trying to tell you or guide you towards, I mean, we've got transformation here. So yeah, you certainly are being guided to go through a deep transformation at this time. Okay, you may feel like something has come to an end. Okay, or again, something needs to come to an end and not to wait. If you've been thinking, yeah, that it's time to move on from something, it's time to let go, but I'm not really ready. This is your time. This is your sign to move forwards and not wait before cutting ties, because the longer you wait, the more you're going to be in suffering. The quicker you're able to do this, the quicker you're going to end up in this sunshine and rainbows happy place, okay? The place you deserve to be. You do deserve it. Tell yourself that. Constantly tell yourself that. Now, this may be a big change occurs in the month of December coming up. You could also be watching this in December. It could be a birthday, yours or someone else's birthday in December that's prominent in some way. It could be a friend's, okay? Also, yeah, I feel like you're being guided to spend time with friends, more time with friends, especially if you've been on your own a lot recently. It feels like your friends are really going to help bring you out of the darkness, okay? I know at times you may be feeling antisocial and that you maybe even feel like you don't want to bring your friends down, but if they're your true friends, they all want to lift you up, okay? And you can allow yourself to be lifted when you're around them, because that's the thing. If you're able to focus on the present moment, even if you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, if you're able to put that aside whilst you're with a friend to focus on anything else. So sometimes distraction is key. Repression is never good, but distraction can be very, very useful in terms of moving through whatever this pain, this attachment, this suffering is. Even if it's just a few minutes respite, whatever you can do. But I do feel this is going to be a much longer lasting transformation. It really is. I feel like there's an internal shift going on here. And this may also be connected to your integrity, your character, your morals. So maybe certain things are happening in your life that is making you question your own integrity and your morals. And integrity is just doing the right thing even when no one is looking. Okay, so there may be opportunities that present themselves for you to do something that you don't necessarily believe is right, but you have the choice whether to do it or not to do it. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not judging what you do, how you live your life. That is obviously up to you. But the fact that the integrity card has come through just shows that, yeah, maybe your integrity is thrown into question in some way. Maybe it was in the past. Okay, maybe you did something that was not something that you would do now. If you were to look back on it, you wouldn't necessarily, not that you wouldn't do that again, because you may not have regrets about what you've done in the past, and we shouldn't really. What's done is done. But it's having regrets is fine as long as we learn from them and we don't repeat it, because that's what the universe will do. To know if we've truly learned a lesson, we'll oftentimes be faced with a decision. Something will happen that will trigger us, okay, to either repeat it or to move past it, to make a different choice. And it's almost like you can rewrite your story by doing that. So yeah, it feels like whether you've had something recently or something is going to come up that is going to trigger you to think, would I do this if everybody knew that I was doing it? Or would I only do it if it was to remain a secret? Okay, so just something to just pinpoint or to put to the back of your mind for the minute. Now I've got long lasting. Oh, I already mentioned long lasting. Long lasting, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a long lasting transformation. I really do feel like that, because especially when it comes to, these kind of decisions, and this, like I said, this is so much about what's going on internally for you, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in terms of the way that you see life, the narrative you have, the way that you visualize, the decisions you make based on, your reality and your circumstances. So much about not even who you are, but about the way that you act moving forwards. But it comes from within. Obviously, we take action based on internalized feelings and thoughts. And I feel like it's those feelings and thoughts that are shifting, which is then going to change the way that you take action moving forwards. And then lastly, we have the vet animal care. So like I said, this could be connected to the grief and loss. You could have recently had an animal that passed, or maybe you have come into an animal has crossed your path that needs assistance that you have to take to the vet potentially. So it could even be something about that situation that has thrown things into question for you. Okay, or this might also be something that brings you a level of healing as well, being connected to animals and friends. I feel like both of these cards are almost connected to that door to personal healing and happiness. So yeah, I feel like in order for you to come out of the darkness, friends and pets and animals are really going to help you. Again, nature, which is very grounding, isn't it? When you're very much stuck up in attachment, you're up in the air. So there is a need to ground, which will help. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I really do hope that this resonates with you, Group 2, and I would love to have your feedback. So please share in the comments if it does make sense. Would love to know. And please do support this channel by giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is also below. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now. Okay, group number 3. Let's take a look at what your intuition is trying to tell you. What does your subconscious mind want to bring through to your conscious mind? Okay, let's see. Group number 3, what's coming through? Okay, we have the 8 of Cups. Justice card, Libra, and the 3 of Coins reversed. Ooh, 5 of Coins, okay. So group 3, what is your unconscious mind wanting to bring through to your conscious? What is your intuition guiding you to do? So firstly, you're being guided to emotionally disconnect from something or someone, okay? Because this Eight of Cups is about walking away from your emotions or walking away from a situation that you'd put your emotion into previously, okay? Turning your back on something here. Now, if you already feel like somebody's walked away from you, I feel like you're being guided to celebrate that in some way, okay? Because either way, it feels like more balance is being restored. Now, if you're somebody that has recently walked away from a connection and you're single or you're more free, I feel like this is going to open the door to another relationship, okay? Because this card here can speak to partnerships, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be romantic partnerships. It can be. For some of you, this is a romantic partnership on its way. For others of you, this might be a business partnership. And I also say that because we've got all of these pentacles that have now come through. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now, the Three of Coins and the Five of Coins, I mean, this seems like there's some kind of issue here. Okay, this could be a financial issue. You could be feeling lost. Sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling. You could be feeling, like you've lost something, or that you've been rejected, or that you're in some kind of financial disrepair. Now, this can also be health. The Pentacles can represent anything physical. So if you've been having particular health issues, this could also be representing that. The Three of Coins in reverse, though, this is about like not either learning a lesson or there's a need to learn a lesson. So you might be being tested right now. You could even be wondering that. Is this happening to test me? And I was actually saying this in Group 2's reading. Like, I feel like in terms of the universe will test us to see if we've learned lessons from the past. It will bring people back or bring situations back to the forefront to see if we will, take the bite again. Not take the bite. Not take the bait. Yeah, I guess take the bait. But yeah. So whatever is happening, if you feel like you're being triggered or you're being tested, you are. I definitely feel like you are. And your intuition is wanting you to know that you are. Okay, because there is a situation that it just feels like there's a lack of cooperation in some way, or a lack of collaboration. It might be between three people, okay? If you resonate with that, if there's a third party energy coming through here, or for instance, even if you work as a team of three or something, but there's just a struggle to see eye to eye. But then there's a need for balance, and there's a need for fairness here with this Libra card. So we definitely need some more information here. But either way, it still feels like this situation, in order for it to create more balance, you are in need to release, your emotional attachment to it. Okay. So let's just get some more information. What your intuition is trying to tell you. Square, semi-square, quincunx. Okay. And then the 10th house. Interesting. This very well could have something to do with your career, okay? Oh, because the 10th house in astrology represents, represents your career, okay? But also your reputation and society in that way. Or society is more moving into the 11th house. But still, the 10th house is almost like right at the peak, the top of the chart. Okay, so this can be about anything that's above the equator line, okay? Can be about, the outside people or your perception of people. Like, for instance, a lot of famous people have like their MC at the very pinnacle of their chart, or like their sun at the very, top point of the chart, which means that, they're seen and noticed by a lot of people. So I'm definitely seeing something about pushing you towards some kind of career trajectory, like positive career development, okay? So this could even be a promotion, okay? So I feel like, there's something about you're being guided right now. You're being pushed in that direction. Even though it may not even feel like it. You may even feel like, I've not even got career on my mind right now. Or I feel like at the moment I'm just in the same place. Or again, maybe that's why you're being guided to push it in some way, to move forwards. But the thing is, I don't feel like this is not consciously. This is what's going on intuitively for you. So this is the area you're being guided towards. So even though you may not feel like, for instance, you're focused on career so much, you may do. For some of you, you may resonate with that right now. But for those of you that don't worry. It's happening. There is career development happening. But again, it might be that you have to go through a loss first before you're able to get this gain, because this is like night and day here. Five of Coins, like I said, it is financial disruption and feeling like you don't have enough, feeling that there's a lack. Whereas 10th house is like, you've got more than you need. You've got an abundance of finances and security, and you've got everything that you could desire. And in terms of health, this is like being in full health, having like a full bar of health. So yeah, you are being guided towards that. But again, you may not see it. For instance, how many entrepreneurs, business people out there, successful people that have failed multiple times before that they've achieved the height of success? So many, almost every single one of them will all explain that, you know, their struggles, or even if they had a leg up, there will still be at times where they have failed, but they have achieved because they learned so much through the struggle that helped prepare them for this place. Okay, so I do feel you're being prepared for greatness here, Group 3. I feel like you're definitely somebody that's meant to be very wealthy. Okay, I see that. Maybe you feel that internally. You feel like you're meant to be, you know, a wealthy person. But, you know, I don't say that lightly, okay? I don't like to feed delusions, but it's what I'm seeing here. I feel like you are destined for that kind of lifestyle, for that level of greatness within you. And not that we should determine greatness by how much is in our bank account, but everybody measures success differently. And I feel like for you, you certainly measure success when it comes to financials. And this may not be about, you know, what you wear or the car you drive, but just having the freedom of that much money, having the security. Sometimes that's all that's needed. Or even being comfortable, being able to travel more comfortably, or just having a more comfortable life is what will be afforded to you. Either way, it feels like that is the direction you're headed in. But it doesn't feel easy, okay? Because even though you're being guided to emotionally disconnect from something that doesn't feel like it's serving you, there's a struggle here with the tension aspect, okay? It's definitely not going to be something you're able to do lightly here. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to let go of whatever this is. But I feel like this is what your intuition is guiding you towards, okay? So there is a decision to make here, which you may be aware of what that is at this moment, or this may present itself to you soon. But like I said, if it feels like it's too easy to walk away, it's not that, okay? This situation is going to feel hard. You're going to feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. You will question yourself whether you can actually walk away from it. But I do feel you will. I do feel you will ultimately, because this is where you're being guided, okay? And it's going to create more balance. And I feel like you're going to get, like, noticeably, you're going to notice a very positive impact quickly, even though there may be something that, again, you might receive one thing, but you have to cut ties with another. You may feel sad about one aspect, but feel happy about another. Like, it doesn't feel like it's one straight road, but you will feel like things in some level are fair, okay, by you doing this. This is, or like, it's the right thing to do. You know, the Justice card is about, again, balance and fairness. And that's, for instance, what contracts are made for, so that things are balanced and fair. So if anything does go awry, you have that security of the contract on both sides. Okay, so let's just see what else is coming through here that your subconscious is wanting your conscious to know, your intuition. Okay, we've got a leg up. And then we've got time for a nap. Okay. There's been a lot today, I would say, as one theme I've seen come throughout all readings today. There's usually one theme that marries up in each one. But the one thing for you guys, and all of you today collectively, is about letting your friends help you more, okay? Or your loved ones. Not trying to do all of this alone, okay? Because, yeah, but I feel like more so with you, Group 3, that you're the most independent, fiercely independent. But sometimes it's to your detriment. Sometimes you need other people's help. You need other people's assistance. And that may also be what you struggle with at times, to delegate. You may always be having to do everything because maybe you feel like only you can do it the right way, or do it to, the best of your ability, or that if you don't do it, it won't get done or be done in the right way. Okay, but yeah, it just feels like you're needing to lean more on other people right now. And that makes sense as well with the Justice card, because Justice is connected to people. Libra is air energy and needs other people. Libra oftentimes will feel out of balance if they don't have a person to bounce things off of, or someone to, accompany them or help them to learn or support. So in order for the scales to come back to a balance, there does need to be more cooperation with other people around you. Okay, so even if that means you're having to compromise or sacrifice a little bit more, but in turn, you'll receive a lot as well. That's the thing. Because you may even feel like, I don't have time. I don't have time for people right now. I don't have time for friends. I don't have time for certain people. I've got to focus on this. But what you may fail to see is that if you don't help or lean on your friends a little bit, you don't know the ways in which they'll be able to help you. Sometimes it's just soundboarding, that you can say something and you realize you understand something better just by speaking to them, or they're able to help show you a way of doing something that's maybe easier than what you were doing previously, or helps you to change your perspective. Okay, so not only being there for actual support for you, physically, mentally, emotionally, maybe even financially for some of you. It could be if you've got somebody that's able to help you financially through a tough time. Don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? That's what your subconscious wants you to know. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because that's what it's there for. That's why you've cultivated these relationships. And not that you've cultivated them so you could be selfish and get just to take. But, this is one of the things. There is a level of transaction when it comes to any relationship, and there's a bit of give and take. People, in terms of friendships, especially in terms of friendships, they don't tend to be as one-sided, because there's nothing tying us to our friends, is there? There's no legal contract, there's no binding contract that keeps us to our friends, or family obligation that keeps us tied. Friendships are such amazing relationships because we really do choose to be with friends and choose to remain friends and choose to hang out with each other, don't we? We make that choice daily to remain friends. But obviously, friendships will start to dip if, for instance, one person is putting in all the effort and the other person isn't. That's just natural. But anyway, I feel like I've gone on a real tangent there, but there's nothing wrong with asking your friends for help. There really isn't. And yes, they may call upon you for help sometimes too, but that's the beauty of friendships. And they oftentimes will go in that nice ebb and flow. So you'll be going through a hard time and your friend's okay. So they're in a place of where they can support you, or vice versa. Your friend's going through a harsh time and then you're in a good place so you can help them. And that, I feel, is one of the best things about a friendship. But then as well, you could be both going through a hard time, but then you can lean on each other emotionally because you can empathize with what each other's going through. So either way, or when you're both good, you can both enjoy each other together. So anyway, friendships, family members or partners, whoever you feel like closest to or you can trust, lean on them right now, okay? Because also you need a nap, group 3. I feel like you're exhausted, absolutely exhausted. You've been doing way too much. You work too hard, you do too much, you don't relax enough. And I feel like you are really, truly in need to take a rest, take an hour, relax, recuperate yourself, because it's been hard going. And again, maybe this is something you're able to do. You can ask for some guidance or help from or support from your loved ones, and then you're able to actually rest for a minute. Give yourself some time, okay? Not everything needs to be done yesterday. Some things can wait. So I also feel like you're being guided to prioritize, to reprioritize what it is that, you feel so under pressure and overwhelmed to get done in a certain time frame. Even though I know that it's tough at times, because there's definitely this tension where you feel like, I need to rest, but I need to get this done. I need more money, I need to work more, or I need to change my situation, my life, but I'm tired, or I'm in pain, or emotionally I'm struggling. So it's not to say that this is going to be easy, but as they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you are depleted physically, mentally, emotionally, then you're not going to have the manpower or the, what was I going to say? Not manpower, well, this isn't the word, there was a better one, but the energy to put forth the best amount of effort and action. You won't do the job or whatever it is justice if you are tired, right? So sleep is so, so important. Ooh, digital detox. Okay, in terms of tangible advice, I feel like that's a pretty good one. Because, yeah, if you've been online too much, if you've been, this could be stalking somebody online, or you've just been, you know how it is, we can get down the rabbit hole, or you just click from one app to the next and just go round in circles. And yeah, there is just a need for peace here, I feel. Again, a nap. So whether this is deactivating your social media accounts or, just removing them from your home screen, whatever it is you need to do. And for however long you need to do it. Maybe even by the number 3, like 3 days, maybe 3 weeks, 3 months, who even knows? But 3 has come through a couple of times here. But it just feels like that's something that's definitely going to benefit you, and it will help to clear your mind, which will help you to intuit the messages more clearly, because it'll help to clear your third eye. Okay, we've got Monday, new feelings. Monday could be, a specific day, maybe to take action, to get something done. Maybe something important is going to be happening on a Monday. Exercise your will. That was interesting because that's what came through a minute ago. Okay, use your hands, doctor. Okay, last couple. Don't give up now. Anxious attachment, block. Okay. So, yeah, you could be in need of a block. Okay, you may need to block, like I said, a certain individual, or to block yourself from checking social media, hence by removing apps or deactivation, whatever you need to do. Okay, but yeah, if you're resonating with that energy, if you've been overthinking, if you've been anxious, okay, with anxious attachment, if you've been feeling super anxious lately, and you feel it's the social media or digitally that this is impacting your anxiety or making it worse, then yeah, that's what you're being guided to do. Okay, whatever you can do to release the anxiety. Again, because here that 8 of Cups is walking away. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, especially if you have an anxious attachment. So whatever this is connected to, whether it's a person, a job, a situation that you feel like it's going to be hard to let go of, but logically it's the right thing and the best next step for you to do. Emotionally, not necessarily going to be easy. But the thing is, we don't need to suppress our feelings for people, for instance. If this is about a person, we don't need to say, I don't love them anymore, and that's that, because we're just kidding ourselves when we do that. If, we're still interested in someone in that way. We can say, you know what, I love them, but I have to walk away. Or I love them, but I love me more. These things are true, and they can become true. Okay, but if you accept it, you accept your feelings and allow them to flow, because that's what feelings need to do. They need to ebb and flow. And if you try to fight against the current, you're just going to end up spinning, okay, and end up maybe even further back than once you started. So don't suppress anything. Allow yourself to feel how you feel, accept how you feel for the moment, and eventually those feelings will start to dissipate if you continue moving forwards. But it's like, it's hard, isn't it, with life? Head and the heart. So much about the head and the heart here, and needing to make, logical choices. But this is a thing as well where you may need a break, because you don't want to make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions, because emotions are temporary, aren't they? We don't feel happy all of the time or sad all of the time. They will fluctuate and maneuver. So you don't want to make decisions that are going to last a lifetime if you're in a super high place or in a super low place. You want to come to a place of neutrality where you feel quite calm. But yeah, don't give up now. We've got exercise your will and don't give up now. So yeah, like I said, it's going to take willpower. It's going to take a lot of strength to do this. Okay, maybe this is even about something Like I said, social media, walking away from social media if this is causing you anxious issues, or walking away from an unhealthy lifestyle in some way, or an addiction. Anything that might be negatively impacting your health in some way, mentally, emotionally, or physically, or financially even. This can be about reckless spending or gambling or something. Whatever it may be for you, like, it's going to feel tough. You are going to feel like you have to exercise your willpower to move forwards. But yeah, don't give up. That's the key here. Even if you feel like you end up failing or you fall off the wagon, you're still closer to achieving than from once you started, because every habit was created initially. Every habit you have now was created in the beginning. So you will be able to reframe, to change them, to change your habits, to change your ways of thinking. But you have to do it first. You have to take the step to make a change, to do something differently, to change that pattern, that habit. I'm not saying it's easy. My God, I know for a fact it's not easy. These things never are. Otherwise, we would just do them, wouldn't we? There would be no such thing as an addiction or as an attachment if we were able to just simply cut ties. But it is possible. It just takes time, and it takes that dedication, which I do feel you have in abundance. When you're ready, you will do it. And you know what? When it feels hard, this is going to build so much internal strength and courage within you, Group 3, because the fact that you walk away, even though it's hard, will prove to you that you are capable of doing what you set out to do. Because that's what a true confidence builder is. It's not what other people say to us. It's not other people giving us validation or, applauding us for what we've done. It's so much more about how we feel inside. And wow, I did that. That was so hard. I can't believe I did that. I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. That is what will build you that true confidence, my Group 3. Okay? Blocking out what no longer serves you. Now, we also have doctor. Okay? So for some of you, you may be being guided to see a doctor. Maybe you've been thinking about seeing a doctor. If you are suffering with any kind of health issue right now, then yeah, that's what doctors are for. And I'm all for conventional medicine in combination with holistic medicine. I think that that's the best way to utilize the medical information and help out there if you can. But yeah, so if you are able, and it doesn't have to be, a GP type of doctor. This could be some, a therapist of some kind, mentally, emotionally. But this does feel like you're being guided to seek advice. Okay, seek advice from someone that has knowledge about something that you don't have just yet. Okay, somebody that's an expert in their field. It may even be a friend of yours or a family member who's a doctor, and they may give you, for instance, relationship advice or something else. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be related specifically to health, but it could just be somebody who happens to be a doctor but is able to help you. Or maybe you may even, some of you may even end up in a relationship with a doctor. Okay, because I did see that. I do feel you're being prepared for this partnership. So whether it's a relationship, a romantic partnership, or a business partnership, I do feel that that's coming. And either, it may come through after going to actually see a doctor, or, like I said, through speaking to someone who happens to be one. And then we have new feelings and use your hands. Yeah, I feel like the new feelings are actually coming and are being developed here within you after, like, you've gone through these things, you've pushed through, you've exercised your will, you've pushed through this, and I feel like these are new feelings being created within you. Again, new feelings of confidence, new feelings of power, new feelings of self-worth. Okay, and all of these things are going to lead you to this wealth. Okay, I really do see that. Okay, because it's like you'll feel that, because truly that the truest wealthy people feel wealthy inside. They feel secure inside. And some of the wealthiest people, you wouldn't even know it to look at. I have a friend who works on ships and says oftentimes, that one of the richest people he's ever met, flies budget, flies economy, and wears non-labeled clothing. So you would never know to look at them that they had money, but they do. They had more money than anybody else on that boat. But that person feels so secure in how much they have, they don't feel the need to show it. Okay. And that's the type of wealth, like that almost old money wealth that I see you being in. Okay. In the future, this is where you're headed. Now, this might not be the immediate future, but it is definitely your future. Okay. And I feel like everything that's happening now is also preparing you for that, because again, it's like you get into that energy of being secure, not feeling the need to prove your worth, prove your financial standing, whatever it may be. You get into that energy, it'll start being reflected back to you, and you will end up in this place. So everything that is happening now is preparing you for a very wealthy life. I do feel like that. Okay, group 3. So I really do hope that this resonates with you, and please do feel free to share in the comments if this does. Would love to have your feedback, and I very much would appreciate it if you would like the video as well. It really does help to YouTube to know to send this video out to more people. So thank you so much in advance. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is also below. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Why do I keep messing that last bit up? I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.